move to a different spot?
Yeah, your face is a little dark.
Let's see if this is a bit better. We got the kitchen light going. I think we might be live though, man.
Sweet. Happy Friday.
Yeah, dude. Same to you. Boom. That should be a little bit better. I've actually, oh, we are live, bro. Look at that. Let's go.
Hey.
All righty. Let me make sure we're live on my phone. Actually, I'll check on the laptop so I can look at the comments and stuff. What's up, guys? Let's see. I just want to make sure we're live. Hopefully, I'm not talking to it. Oh, we are live, bro. Let's go.
Love it.
Guys, what's happening? What's going on? We are back with another amazing client success interview here. I am with one of our awesome clients, Brenton. And guys, he's going to be talking about his experience in agency hypergrowth and how he has scaled his agency from, dude, you were stuck at like 5-6 grand a month, and now you're consistently hitting 20K plus months, month over month. And the cool thing is that he just quit his 6-figure salary job this Monday. So a lot of cool stuff for Brenton to share with you guys, and I can't wait to get into it. So if you guys are watching live, let me know. Drop me a comment down below. If you're watching this on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And dude, why don't you take the mic and let's just roll, man. Let's get into it.
Where do you want to start?
That's a good question. Why don't we just start with you telling us as little or as much of your story as you want to?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you can all probably tell, originally from Australia, been living out here in Los Angeles since 2008, and came over here when I was 21, not really knowing how long I was going to stay for or what I was going to do. And yeah, had a background in journalism. So I worked a couple of jobs in different newspapers in Santa Monica and Beverly Hills, and was enjoying the ride, but then sort of got to my late 20s where it's like, hey, do I want to work for someone else for the rest of my life? No. Get 2 weeks off a year and almost have to work on sick days just because you work for these small companies and they push you and they don't pay you much. But it's sort of the way that Americans are sort of treated over here. So I've always had sort of entrepreneurial endeavors or pursuits that I've wanted to go after. And I probably sort of really sunk my teeth into some of that in 2016, 2017. And it started with like, hey, I'm going to build websites for people. So I helped some family and friends, and that sort of grew into like, hey, let's do some review and reputation management. So I sort of did a course on that and got really good at that. And then it sort of evolved to the clients that I had. It was like 2 or 3 were sticking around and like wanted help with things like, we need some more clients or need more customers. So I'm like, all right, I need to go learn some Facebook ads. And like us, many of us before have done some courses and start teaching ourselves how to do courses. And they sort of give you this buy-in of like, hey, you're going to make 10 grand in the first month, and then you go and do it, and they don't give you any training on how to do it. Like they may show you the basics of how to set up a Facebook ad. So I sort of had a little taste of success. I'm like, all right, I've got people paying me money and I'm getting them results. Like I need to just grow it. So I've done every course under the sun and tried every different tactic out there. Like how many people on this call have tried Facebook messaging businesses, cold emailing, scraping lists, cold calling, calling up and being terrified and just getting hung up on. I tried LinkedIn. I've tried Facebook ads. I've tried everything, and like it would be so hit and miss. And I'd go all in for 2 or 3 months and then I'd just go nowhere. So when I sort of came across AHG in September, I think it was the first time I ever saw one of your ads, and I clicked on it and I'm like, everything that you guys were saying talked to me. It's like, your agency is a joke. It's stuck at its growth levels. You've done everything you can. And I'm like, that's me. It's like, I'm making 5-6 grand a month. I've made that for 6 months or more. Half of that's going to like software costs and different things I'm paying. So I'm like, I'm hardly making any money and I'm doing all these things. Like I'm stuck. I'm so stuck. And yeah, it was a no-brainer for me to join the program. The mentoring appealed to me, and then just everything about the different ways you teach people to grow and scale. So I sort of, jumped on board in September. I think by October, I'd sort of finished all the videos, had a couple of calls sort of completed, and I'm like, all right, it's time to grow this bad boy. And yeah, just consistently been signing clients month after month while having this job, with the idea that March was my exit date, which would have been 5 years, again, making 6 figures. But it's like I've replaced my income plus more. And it's at a point where the sky's the limit from what I've learned. Like last month, I closed 8 deals. Like that was 8 that actually paid. I closed more deals that hadn't run invoices yet, which have already run this month. So it's like, I'm at this point where it's like everything that you guys teach, it works. I remember like in the Facebook group, one of the strategies was like, you can do cold emails, one of the strategies, but say this, this, and this. And I sent it out within 10 minutes, I got a book call. I'm like, holy crap, like these guys know what they're talking about. And then I tried LinkedIn, getting calls, and do the other, all these strategies just started working. I'm like, oh my God, I'm busy. I'm getting things going. So that was sort of how I got my calendar started booked. And then, yeah, the whole rest of it is the sales system, which I didn't have. So we can probably go into that in a bit, but I'll stop there and let me know if you have any questions.
Dude, this is awesome, man. Guys, by the way, give Brenton a very warm welcome in the group. So we're in the free Facebook group right now, Agency Hypergrowth. And guys, give us some comments down below. Give us a hashtag live. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. I'm interviewing one of our amazing clients. He is an Aussie, as the Brits like to say. I only know that because my girlfriend is a Brit. I'm not too educated on that front, but yeah, guys. So he's an awesome client of ours. He's made amazing strides, and he just quit his 6-figure salary job that he's been in for 5 years this past Monday, which is insane. Very few people are able to say that in the agency space. And so, dude, your story is really cool. I'm really curious about this. What would you say were maybe the 1, 2, or 3 things that you were struggling with the most before you joined Agency Hypergrowth and became a client?
Yeah, so like I said, I was like getting some calls one-off here and there, and that was okay. But I think there was 2 main problems that you guys solved pretty much in the first month. 1, getting more calls, and then B, what you say on those. I had no sales training, like that wasn't my background, and I'd be getting all these calls and just start blurting out things, and they ask questions, and I just tell them what I thought, and then I'd never hear back from them. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So when I went through like your 15 hours of sales training, I'm like, oh my God, like this all makes sense. So instead of just sort of giving away everything on the first call, you guys have a very defined 3-call process, which you're like, whoa, 3 calls, but it's like, no, you want to qualify people, you want to talk to them, you don't want to sell them on the first call. Then you want to go to a discovery call, get to know their issues and like, what have they tried, where they want to get to, where do they want to be in 6 months, all of these questions that are thought provoking. And you're really just sort of taking notes and getting to know them. And then you really want to set up for the proposal call. And the number one thing that I was doing wrong was people like, how much do you charge? I'm like, oh yeah, it's this, 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 and this. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll get back to you. On the first call, they'd always ask that. And I'm like, I'd always tell them. And I thought I was like doing a good thing. I'm like, it's reasonably priced. Nope, until you've gone through the very exact steps of the 3 calls. And then you guys also train, you do the first call, and then this is what you email them after. I was never doing that. You have the second call. This is what you email them, these links and stuff. And you're doing this very exact, almost science of like, you do this, you do this, you do this. If they ask you this, you tell them that. You don't tell them that, or that. And then by the time you get to the proposal, like, oh, my close rate's insane. Like, I'd say like 80% are almost closing. Like it's completely game change. And then if they, again, you don't tell them the price and they get angry and hang up, it's like, well, they're probably not a good fit for your business anyway. So it's just learning sell value, sales, relationships. And like, by the time I get on that 3rd call, they're ready to tell me everything about their life. They're like, hey, I've been buying 8 grand of leads. Come and have a look at this account that I buy from. And like, I probably shouldn't be showing you this, but they trust you so much already. They just tell you everything. And it's like so easy to close sales once you've done the steps in the right process.
Yeah, man, 100%. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so, dude, your situation before joining AHG was very similar to a lot of agencies. And I think a lot of people that are watching this now and that end up watching this in the future can probably resonate with where you were. Dude, I used to do that all the time. Like I get on, I had no structure, no call, like no, set process. It was just like, hey, I can help you get more business. Oh, great. What do you charge? Oh, well, it's anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 a month. Okay, cool. Call me next. And it was just like racking those up. So I get it, man. guys, for those of you watching live, can you resonate with that? Give me a yes in the comments if you can resonate with what Brenton was struggling with before he was a client. You know, you're getting on the phone with people and, you know, different business owners, and you're talking to them. You don't really have much of a structure, and they're asking you, hey, what do you charge for your services? And you just kind of give them a number, and then you never hear back. You know, they say, I'll get back to you. I'll give you a call tomorrow. I'll give you a call next week, but you never hear back. Give me a yes in the comments if you can resonate with that, if that's happened to you. But so, dude, you were struggling with pretty similar things to what most agencies were. Talk to me about the moment or string of moments, if you will, leading up to you deciding to join AHG. Like, what triggered that decision to go, you know what, I need help, and why us?
Yeah. So I was sort of stuck in that like 5-6 grand, which I knew for me, like I needed to get to somewhere between 10 to 15 in revenue to be able to comfortably walk away and pay my Santa Monica rent and my car. And there's a lot of costs that go into living in Los Angeles for anyone who lives in California. So I'm like, when I write out all my expenses, I'm like, all right, I need to go here, at least break even. I like to travel. I like to go out to restaurants. I need to make this much money. And I want to have that consistent. I can't just do it 1 month and then it's like, all right, peace out, job, bye. So it's like, I needed to get to that point where I knew that I had solid clientele. They were getting results. It was being fulfilled. It was being managed. And then I could just sort of see the projected growth from month after month of, again, adding on more clients. And it's like, I needed to invest in myself to get me there because I didn't have the tools or systems or the support network to be mentored to like, this is what you need to do. This is everything you're doing wrong. Do these steps and then keep doing it. Like, I know after like a month, like I reverted back to my old ways and started telling people like, yeah, I'm only this much. Yeah. Stop closing deals. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that again. So it's like, you got to sort of stick to it, because like, if you do anything outside of like the guidelines that you guys teach, that's when things start going wrong. So it's like, I knew I needed a system, a process, and I needed to take action, and I was almost willing to pay whatever it was going to take. And when they gave the price, I'm like, oh, that's, I'll pay more. This is good value. Like, I'm going to get this money back in like 2 months or less. And I did. So it's like, if you put in that training, it's an investment. But it's same with when you're selling to businesses. You can't go say, hey, it's $2,000 a month, and they want to grow to $1 million a year, and they're like, oh no, I'm not going to charge $2,000. It's the same for you as a business. Like, if you can't spend money on your business, how are you going to grow? How are you going to have the ability to ask people for money if you can't do it yourself? If you're like, oh, I'm willing to spend $299 on a course, but I'm not going to spend more on mentoring. Like, so it's like, you get what you pay for, and there are obviously cheaper courses, and I've done through many of them, but the mentoring, the accountability, everything that you guys do is just like, wow. I've seen nothing like it before.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah.
When I first started AHG back in 2018, I was like, I want to change the market. I want to disrupt the market with this and do something no one else is really doing. So it means a lot for you to say that, man.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you were struggling with a lot of the things most agencies are having trouble with, doing 5-6 grand a month, couple clients, no real consistency. So, dude, what changed when you became a client inside Agency Hypergrowth? What were some of the things that started to shift? You've already hit on a few of them, but let's go a little bit deeper.
Yeah. So I think my mindset changed a lot as well. It's like, all right, I have a game plan. I know what's working, and if it's working for me, I can just keep doing this, and we'll get to success. So it's just, like I said, the combination of like getting more calls, being more and more confident of what I was doing each call. Like, I used to have my printed out sort of frameworks. I wasn't reading it. It was just like, I know I need to hit these points. Now it's like, hey, I could be on a call in 2 minutes. I know everything in the back of my head, and it's natural. I can talk to them. So, hey, how you doing? And if they say, oh yeah, I had the kids. So then at the end of the call, it's like, hey, well, have a great weekend with your kids. It's about like remembering things, like piecing it all together and having like those conversations instead of just like being all about business. You need to be able to connect with people. So I think that's really important. And then just sort of like, there's so many little things that you guys teach of like, this is our proposal. and you update it with everything and you send it out, and it's so professional. Like, I was just piecemealing stuff together, and looking back, I'm like, damn, that was unprofessional. Like, I don't know how I got any clients to sign on. But when it's like, I've got this now 6-page beautiful looking PandaDoc document, people are like, oh my God, that's impressive. Like, this guy's legit. And then you send the emails and you have the links and you're doing all these other things that they're all little touch points, and they're like, I want to work with this guy. And it's sort of like when I came through the call process in your system, I'm like, damn, like, these guys are going to close me. And if they can teach me how they close me as a client, it's like, I'm going to just blitz this. And again, I've implemented so much of that same strategy that when people come through, they're like, damn, you're good. It's like, all right, yeah. It's like, I've done my training. It's like, now I'm going to help you in your business implement the same thing, so you're getting customers using these same systems. And again, a lot of businesses don't have any idea about sales either, so I can help sort of put that in them as well, and it helps them.
Amazing, man. Amazing. So good. By the way, guys, if you're watching live, let us know. Show some love on this post. Give a like, give a heart, drop a comment. There's a hashtag live. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We have a ton of new people joining this group every single day. And I'd love to get to know you guys better and get to know where you guys are located. So again, for those of you just tuning in and hopping on here, I'm interviewing one of our amazing private clients inside Agency Hypergrowth, which is our main coaching and mentoring program for people who run a marketing agency. Our client his name is Brenton, if you can't tell by the title. And super quick, guys, he was stuck at 5 to 6K a month for a while. Came in, started working with us. Now he's consistently hitting 20+K a month. And he just quit his 6-figure salary job this past Monday that he's been at for 5 years, which is freaking crazy and really awesome. So cool, man. We've talked about like what you were struggling with before working with us, what changed. Dude, here's a question for you. What do you say to people who are, still on the fence about working with us? Because the truth is, and you probably experienced this a little bit when you became a client, there's a ton of options out there, man. There's a lot of people who run coaching programs. There's a lot of courses, people selling 2 to 3K programs, 10K programs, all the like. So people will be shopping around and they might be skeptical of working with us. So what do you say to that person or those people?
Yeah, well, I think it's a couple of things. It's one, how serious are you? If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll just keep getting that same sort of results. And if you try and sort of cheap it, start watching more YouTube videos or free mini webinars, you know that, again, you're not getting the goods there. You're not going to grow. So you need to invest. And then I think anyone can just go through this group and just sort of look at all these videos. It's like, it's real. There's people every couple of weeks doing these sort of testimonials who have come in within 3 to 6 months or less, come in, done everything that you guys say that this is what you need to do. There's the regular coaching calls, which after like the first couple, I'm like, oh, like, have I done my work? So it's like, it keeps you on track of like, all right, now I need to roll back. What's everything that I said I was going to do? Even though, again, I'm pretty sure everyone coming to this program has a full-time job. So you can't use that as an excuse of like, oh, I'm busy with this, or I have family and kids. It's like, no, get up an hour early, do some stuff in the morning, and set aside an hour or two at night or on a weekend. Like, you got to make time. If running an agency or marketing or whatever you're doing in the sphere is what your future is, this is a way to fast track it. And I wish I found you guys like years ago, because again, I spent tons, and I'm sure if you add up all those like onesies and twosies $1,000 programs and like all these big dream things that get sold to people who are sort of in the up and coming, it's like, I wish I put all of that into sort of this one bucket and would save a lot of money just doing what you guys are doing. So yeah, it's definitely worth every cent, and like, you will start signing clients in no time, and then you'll retain them as well, because that's the other big part. You don't want to be burn and churn every 2 months. You want to have people that are here this time next year, and that's how you build a big solid business. Yeah, it's all very exciting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. Sweet. So 2 more quick things before we hop off here. Dude, a lot of people are like, and we kind of already talked about this in the title of this interview, but a lot of people are like, okay, cool. You say the program's really great, but what sort of results did you see? What kind of, how much money did you make? That sort of thing. So dude, just lay it on the good people. Like, what have you been able to accomplish since working in AHG, or I mean, working with us in AHG?
Yeah, so obviously, like I've tripled the number of clients I have. My pipeline is always full. Like if you don't have a calendar for the week ahead with brand new prospects on there every single day, you can't grow because it's a numbers game. You're not going to close every single one, and people are going to be at different points. You may talk to someone and they sign up within the next day and they've launched on Friday, and that's good. Other people, you're going to have a pipeline where maybe they're ready in 2 weeks, or they're starting a new business themselves and they're moving to a different state. And I've had some from like November who finally just opened their business and ready to go. So it's like having a pipeline that's full, it's tracked, everyone is sort of in the different stages and you know where each relationship is. That's the number one thing. Like if you're getting 2 or 3 calls every 2 or 3 weeks, like you're not going to grow. It's like you need to be having multiple conversations every single week and having that continually fill up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're spot on. Cool. So we have a question that I'll ask you in just a second. But my last question for you, dude, is you kind of hit on this already, but what would you say to somebody who's watching this and maybe ends up speaking to us about, what our program looks like, but they're hesitant to actually put up the capital, right? Like, because for a lot of people, money is what, stops them from investing into coaching or mentorship, or at least they allow it to stop them. So what would you say to someone who's maybe scared or afraid or on the fence about actually investing capital?
Yeah, I'd say find the money, however you need to do it. Yeah, it's like you've got to invest, just like, again, most people go to college. Like I've spent tens of thousands doing a journalism degree. It's like being able to sort of, again, borrow that money or whatever it is with the idea that it's a decent chunk of change, but that's going to make you work so much harder. Like you're like, it's not like $1,000. You watch 3 of the 10 modules and you give up and go on to the next thing. It's like you're going to invest in this. You're going to watch you're going to watch 15 hours of sales training. You're going to watch every minute, and you probably watch it again because like you paid some good money for that, and it's worth it. So I think it keeps you accountable as well. If you are serious, get that capital with the idea of like, all right, how many clients do I need to sign in the next 3 months to not only just pay it back, but then they're residual retainer type clients who will keep paying you month after month. So yeah, if the goal is to leave your full-time job like me, again, like I've been trying to do this for 3 years, leave my job, like 3 years of just trying so much different stuff. Everything told me I was going to be a millionaire overnight. And I bought into all these programs and nothing worked. Met Sebastian and his crew, and it's like everyone's become like family. Everyone's helping each other out and forming these sort of like-minded relationships, which is awesome. So again, I can't speak highly enough. I wouldn't be here doing it otherwise, because again, it's tough out there to sort of decipher like what's good, what's bad. But again, for me, and I just know that you've had hundreds of people come through this program and just crush it. There's no reason that, and again, there's plenty of room for others as well. Only a small percentage are going to rise to the top and really like grab this opportunity in digital marketing and run with it. You just need to have, again, people booking on your calls. You need to be able to close them, and they need to fulfill it. There's sort of 3 main buckets. And if you're doing one of those buckets wrong, like you're not going to scale and grow and leave your job and live the life you want to live. Again, I can't wait till my last day is done. It's like I'm going to have unlimited time, and my only focus will be growing the business. I'm actually going back to Australia for 2 months. My dad's leaving his job. He's been doing sales and like contractor for a long time, so he's leaving that. Wow. And joining the Garen Group crew to, again, I'm sure he'll blitz it and close 5 to 10 deals a month. Where I'm like, this is the training. This is what you're going to do. This is how it's done. And again, the next step for us is growing a team of fulfillment in-house, account management in-house, because yeah, there's no reason we can't get this bad boy up to 100 grand in the next 6 months to a year. So yeah, if you can hook up your family, what better business model is that?
Yeah, dude, if you can't put your family on salary, you're doing something wrong.
With sick bonus structure too.
Oh, that's funny. That's awesome, man. So cool. And I'm so happy and honestly like grateful that you're a client of ours, genuinely. I'm sure with all the travel stuff, like it'll sort itself out, and we'll all, we'll end up being in person one day.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 quick questions in here from people that are watching live. So we'll go through those and then we'll wrap up. So Nelson asks, how long before closing your first client?
Using these processes, I think it was like 3 weeks. Like, I think from like joining, going through all the modules, having the first 2 calls, and I was like, all right, closing some deals. And like, again, it went like clockwork. Like, it was so easy. Of like, oh my God, I did this, and this, and here's a signed contract. Like the struggle that I went through to, yeah.
It's
before I was doing free trials for like 2 months. I'm like doing all this stuff or paying for ads, but doing all this crazy stuff to like get 1 client. I'm like, nah, no more of that. No more free this and free that. Because that's what we just sort of think we have to do to prove our worth. But it's like, no, if you do this, people will want to work with you. They're like, yeah, I've talked to like 3 other marketers this week, and like, you are by far the next. People tell me all the time, like, not many people get on a second call with me. It's like, you're doing something right. I'm like,
amazing. It's funny, right, dude? Because like it's actually really hilarious when this happens so often, dude, when people come with the agency hypergrowth. Because a lot of people, dude, when they get on the phone with us to talk about our program, they're really skeptical. And then sometimes, even when they do enroll and join AHG, they go into AHG still with a little bit of skepticism. And then they sign on their first couple of clients and they're like, oh my goodness, I just followed the AHG process and signed clients. And it's always funny to me because it's like, wait, so you're telling me like you pay some people some money to learn how to do a thing, and then you just like did what they said to do, and then you got the outcome they told you would get? Go figure.
Yeah.
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 But it's literally
the same way. Yeah, and the same when I sign clients as well. Like, they're like, oh wow, like I've never used a market before. Like, this is great. I wish I did this years ago. So it's like, it's all like what goes around comes around. So you invest in yourself, then you get to businesses, and I even talked about it. Like, I've done a lot of sales training. I've invested in myself. And they're like, oh, like this kid knows his stuff.
Yeah, man, 100%. Cool. So we got 2 more questions. Hussein asks, how can we get good at sales?
So sales is just about, so think about this. Like, when you get on a call, you can do so many different things. Like, they can lead the conversation, you can lead the conversation. You can ask questions, they can ask questions. It's all about like how you follow a framework. So once you know what questions to ask, and then how to respond to probably the 5 main questions they're going to ask. How much is this going to cost? How many people have you helped before? They're going to ask the same 3 to 5 questions every time. And if you can answer those confidently and have the best answer, even if you're just starting off, so you're using the AHG fulfillment teams, like, yeah, we've helped dozens of people in XYZ industry, and we've got great results. And if you know how to answer those questions and relate, and it's sort of like, it's taking the conversation away from being a sales call. Like, the first one's basically a disqualification call. You want to disqualify the potential clients from hell. Like, I used to take on everybody. They'd be like, seem like they're nutcases, but I'm like, yeah, I need that money from them. So you take them on, and again, it ends up going badly. But with this, it's teaching you of like, what are the questions? There's 4 questions. I'm not going to say what they are, but there's 4 questions you ask them on the very first call. And if they sort of tick off the answers to those, then you can move them along the process. And then on the next call, we've got another probably 10 to 15 questions that, again, is digging into their business and their pain points and where they want to be in their dreams. And you basically just listening. And then the last call is putting it all together and putting yourself as the solution, where you don't even really have to sell them. You just get to a point where you just shut up and they're like, all right, so how can I work with you? Like, okay, well, this is the next step. So it's like, it's just like a role reversal, opposed to like everything else of like, sales is scary. You need to get a sale on the first call, 1 call close. Yeah, they're the best. It's like, no, it's like, it's about the relationship, actually knowing that you can genuinely help them, and then providing the solution for them. And if they sort of feel good about you, it's not a sale, it's a conversation where it's like, I'm helping them grow their business and they're growing my business. So it's like, it's a win-win situation when you look at it like that.
Spot on, man. That was so good. All right, so we got 1 more question from Bruno. What was your biggest setback at first? That's a good question.
Like starting digital marketing or with AHG? Like, what? what context?
Yeah, that's a good point to clarify. We'll go with your biggest setback in AHG. Let's say that.
I don't know if I had any. I think I could have ramped it up sooner. Like I did have a lot going on, so I was like closing deals like when I started in October, November. But yeah, I think just not doing enough action. Like I do some stuff, get results, and then it's like, okay, back to like managing the rest of life. So I think by the time December came, like I've just been closing deals left, right, and center. So it's like, well, I don't know if it was a setback. It was just like, if I could have done something different, I like probably would have crushed it a little bit harder sooner, opposed to, I don't know, getting some initial traction and then just sort of going back into coasting mode.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all part of the journey, right, man? So it's like,
yeah,
it all happened perfectly because you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. Guys, this was, I mean, I feel like I say this every time, dude. Like, this is one of the best interviews we've done. But like every interview is just so awesome. It's so much fun. Like I love doing these. My hope and my goal when I share these interviews is two things. Number one, my goal is to inspire you guys. Like for me, something that was a game changer was seeing interviews and real people with real results like this one that made me realize and see that what I wanted was possible, right? Because it's one thing for someone like me to scream at you on a video or live or, you know, on a VSL or whatever, telling you what's possible. But when you hear from other people like Brenton, a real person, it makes it that much more achievable, or feels that much more attainable and achievable. So, and secondly, obviously, full transparency. I want you guys to watch this and go, you know what? I should become a client too. Just saying. But anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap up here. Brenton, thank you for hopping on, man. Really appreciate you. Can't wait to have you in the elite family very soon. I know that's on the horizon for you. Anything you want to leave the beautiful people with here?
I think it's just a matter of deciding what you want in life. There's so many things that you can do to move it forward. Because again, it's the first step. You need to then take action with anything. You can't just join the group and then sit back and wait for the checks to start flowing. You need to follow the steps. You need to not be scared to get on calls and do the process exactly how you teach it. And again, like I was sort of terrified again, like doing a whole new process that I'd never done before. I'm like, but then like you do it 3 times, you do 5, and maybe they're crap and like they don't go anywhere. But then by the time you get to number 6, number 10 call, you're like, yeah, like I don't need to look at my notes. I feel confident in myself. And then boy, you close your first deal and then it's like, nothing's going to stop you. If you can do it once, why can't you do it 20 times? Now for me, my next thing is now I need to teach my dad how to do it 20 times. And then we need to teach other people, and then it can just grow. So it's like everything's possible, but it's one step at a time. First step, again, if you're doing things, you're stuck, losing clients, not getting clients, this is the next step for you. And then you'll learn to do the inner growth. And again, I wasn't this polished 6 months ago. I'm a bit of a mess all over the place, but it's like you get more confident with speaking and like discussing business and living it and breathing it, but without, again, taking action and again, joining a group that's here to make you successful. And again, I remember I watched 3 or 5 of these sort of videos before I got on the call. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be me. So if you want to do that, there's no reason you can't jump on in and hit me up in the group and say, hey, let's chat.
Yep.
We're all here to help each other, you included.
Amazing. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this interview. If you watch this on the replay at some point in the future, I hope you get a lot out of this, and I hope you feel inspired, most importantly. So, dude, we will keep in touch. I know there's so many things on the horizon for you. You are in an amazing position. I'm really proud of you, dude. Guys, I will see you guys soon next week. Brenton, I'll talk to you soon, man. Peace, everyone.
Peace.